The journey to unstoppable self-belief begins the moment you choose to awaken the warrior within. In the heart of Sparta, discipline was forged through relentless training, while in ancient India's scriptures, the path of karma, yoga, teaches action without attachment. The fusion of these two traditions gives you a mind that is both resolute and calm, a mind that believes in itself with the confidence of a champion and the humility of a servant. Below you will find a map, broken into 5 chapters, that blends Spartan discipline with Hindu karma, guided by the timeless wisdom of Stoicism. Each chapter shares a story from ancient tradition, a practical lesson, a concrete example, a conclusion, a call to action, and a reflective question that will anchor your learning. Chapter 1: The Spear-Shaped Mind. In the days before warfare, the Spartan army marched in formation, each footstep a rhythmic affirmation of purpose. A young man named Aleki, born into a modest family, could not afford the bronze spear that their village prized. Yet the elders taught that the real spear is the mind, honed by discipline. Aleki practiced speaking only when necessary, listening at a silence that would later become his strength against fear. Years later, he earned a commission as a scout. His calm mind and decisive silence saved countless lives. The lesson for us lies in mastering the timing of our thoughts, much like a warrior chooses when to thrust a spear. When every thought is deliberate, the mind becomes a fortress that cannot be broken. For today, start a 30-minute mental audit each morning. Write down every thought you let run unchecked, then deliberately reframe or silence those that carry doubt. Conclusion: a disciplined mind is the first step toward unwavering self-belief. When you learn to control your thoughts as a Spartan would control a spear, you shape the future you wish to see. Like, share, and subscribe for more wisdom on turning discipline into confidence. Reflective question: which thoughts are you allowing to dominate your day, and how might you tame them with Spartan discipline? Chapter 2: The Silent Warrior's Path. In the Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna encounters the battlefield of Kurukshetra, yet his greatest struggle is not with enemies but with inner doubt. Krishna counsels him to perform his duty without attachment to outcomes. Krishna's words echo the Stoic idea that we cannot control external events, only our reactions. Krishi, a farmer in an agrarian society, practiced daily labor, planting, harvesting, without worry about market fluctuations. He found that his peace came from diligent practice rather than expected reward, and his produce thrived. By adopting the path of karma yoga, we learn to act wholeheartedly, detached from the applause or judgment of others. Today, pick one task that you delay because of fear, perhaps sending that presentation or initiating a difficult conversation. Commit to completing it today, fully, without obsessing over the result. This act of purposeful action builds the confidence that comes from knowing you have performed your duty, regardless of outcome. Conclusion: when we act without attachment to results, we free ourselves from the tyranny of self-doubt. Our actions become rituals of belief, not of expectation. Like, share, and subscribe to grow your self-belief through timeless practice. Reflective question: what tasks do you postpone because you fear how others will react, and how could detaching from their judgment empower you? Chapter 3: The Spartan's Stoic Shield. During the Peloponnesian War, the Spartans faced uncertainty and fear. Their training did not gloriously display bravery, it cultivated endurance. Pausanias, a Spartan general, taught that the true shield is the mind that accepts what cannot be changed. In Vedic lore, King Bharata listened to his sage's counsel to accept duty, knowing that destiny cannot be altered by fear. The result, an era of relative peace, proved that acceptance combined with action leads to stability. Here we learn that discipline is not a prison but a shield. When obstacles arise, we can meet them with stoic calm. I cannot change the storm, but I can keep my vessel steady. Practice this today by setting a mind map of anticipated challenges in a project. When they occur, pause, breathe, and answer with a calm, action-oriented plan rather than panic. Conclusion: a shield of mental calm is the strongest defense against doubt. When you meet adversity with serenity, you assert your own self-belief in the face of chaos. Like, share, and subscribe, and let the shield of Stoicism guard your confidence. Reflective question: how can you use a defensive mindset to transform potential threats into opportunities for growth? Chapter 4: The Path of Purposeful Struggle. Athena, goddess of wisdom, famously gifted the olive tree to humanity because of its practical use and symbolic peace. In contrast, the Spartan warrior's struggle was a relentless pursuit of self-improvement. Both share an underlying principle: growth requires purpose and persistence. In the Mahabharata, Satyajit, a humble scholar, overcame great trials by aligning his study with a higher mission. He turned everyday hardship into stepping stones toward mastery. We can emulate this in our lives by aligning each day's tasks with a larger purpose. I do this to become the best version of myself. For instance, if you aspire to be a project leader, frame every meeting or call as practice for leadership, not mere obligation. Purpose turns chores into missions, and missions increase confidence because they connect effort to meaning. Conclusion: aligning action with purpose turns discipline into a sacred journey. Self-belief blossoms when we see each effort as a thread in our personal tapestry. Like, share, and subscribe so we can weave purpose into daily practice. Reflective question: in what ways could you reframe your current tasks to align more closely with the bigger purpose you hold for yourself? Chapter 5: The Warrior's Quiet Resilience. In a small Himalayan village, a young boy named Leela climbed a cliff to rescue a trapped bear. Though the climb was perilous, Leela's mind remained focused. Each breath, each stone, served a single goal: her rescue mission. When he finally overcame the last stone, his confidence did not arise from heroic applause, but from a quiet, deep reassurance that he had conquered his fear. In the Spartan ethos, such resilience was cultivated through repeated hardship, training that pushed the body beyond its comfort, teaching endurance, perseverance, and self-belief. Today, you can build this quiet resilience by setting a daily fear challenge. Choose a small but intimidating task, such as speaking up in a meeting or proposing an innovative idea to your boss. Complete it each day, regardless of outcome or applause. Over time, you will build an internal archive of resilience that recharges your self-belief during future challenges. Conclusion: a warrior's mind grows strong not by the echo of victory, but by the quiet certainty that we can overcome any obstacle. That certainty becomes unstoppable self-belief. Like, share, and subscribe to continue strengthening your inner fortress. Reflective question: what is the next small but daunting task you will face today, and how will you embrace it with the disciplined spirit of a warrior? Philosophy Spotlight: Stoicism, the discipline of the Stoic mind. Stoicism, cultivated by Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus, is a practical philosophy that blends resilience, clarity, and self-mastery. Its central tenet is that we cannot control external events, only our judgments about them. It invites us to focus energy on what is within our power: thoughts, actions, and reactions. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor, kept a personal journal, Meditations, which is still revered today as a guide to disciplined mind control. In one entry, he reflected on the fleeting nature of fame and wealth, reminding himself that true strength lies within. It is not about being praised. It is about doing the right thing in the present moment. Marcus practiced self-examination daily, using Stoic discipline to steer his thoughts away from external validation toward internal purpose. Key lessons from Stoicism for modern success and personal growth. 1. Emotional mastery. By asking, "What do I have control over?" you avoid the trap of reactive emotions that derail confidence. In business, this habit translates to staying calm under crisis, making rational decisions that align with your long-term vision. 2. Resilience through acceptance. Accepting that setbacks are part of the human experience builds unshakable resilience. When a project fails, see it as data, not as a personal indictment, so you can pivot and improve. 3. Purposeful action. The Stoics taught that the greatest happiness comes from living in accordance with virtue. A modern professional applying this lesson will align daily tasks with values, thereby turning work into purposeful action that feeds confidence and well-being. These lessons echo the theme: Spartan discipline meets Hindu karma yoga. Sparta's rigor in training mirrors Stoic focus on personal agency. Karma yoga's emphasis on performing duty without attachment parallels Stoic acceptance of outcomes. Together, they form a holistic framework: discipline, action, and detachment, all feeding into unstoppable self-belief. Apply the Stoic practice today. Set aside 10 minutes after work to note one thing you could have controlled differently during the day. Write down how you could have reframed your response and set a small goal to implement that reframing in tomorrow's similar situation. Conclusion: Stoicism provides a toolbox that, when combined with Spartan discipline and Hindu karma yoga, transforms self-belief into a living, breathing force. It turns challenges into training grounds and victories into habits. Like, share, and subscribe to deepen your Stoic, Spartan, and karmic practice. Reflective question: when faced with a setback today, can you shift your perspective from what went wrong to what I can learn and how I can act moving forward? By weaving together ancient warriors, enlightened sages, and timeless wisdom, you have a blueprint for rewiring the mind. Adopt the spear-shaped discipline of Sparta, the detached action of karma yoga, and the stoic calm that turns obstacles into stepping stones. Your self-belief will rise not merely to a peak, but to an everlasting summit.